to the first episode of Switch Tayo. It is a live stream show about vaping, heated tobacco, and tobacco harm reduction. Our hosts, Canton Israel of NCUP and millennial advocate Jamie Franco, will lead the interesting discussion about topics that affect millions of Filipinos.
Kapulang Pilipinas, good morning and welcome sa second episode ng aming palatuntunan ni Jamie Franco. Switch Tayo, ang natatanging programa dito sa Pilipinas na nagpapalawak at nagbibigay ng mga tamang impormasyon hinggil sa tobacco harm reduction. Of course, ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Nicotine Consumers Union of the Philippines kasama ang aking co-host, walang iba kundi si Miss Jamie Franco. Magandang umaga sa iyo, Jamie. Audio mo. Sandali.
Ayan. Hi, Ka-Anton.
Good morning.
Hello po. Hello mga kabik. We are back for another episode. Ka-Anton, it's been a while. We've been very busy in the past few weeks. How are you po ngayon? How are you today?
Feeling great. Kasi ako ay huminto na talaga totally sa smoking. Yes, noon huminto ako ng smoking and then nag-vape na lang ako. Pero na-entice uli ako. And then ginawa ko na naman, nag-smoke ako in between intervals, smoke, vape. And then last 2 weeks, nahirapan na akong huminga talaga. Sabi ko, I had to give it up. Kasi kapag baka mamaya hindi na makarecover yung lungs ko, mag-collapse, wala na. Dead ball na. So ngayon, napansin ko na medyo bumabalik na yung shoulder ko kasi nagsimula nang mag-droop down eh. And then natakot na ako kaya full vape na ako ngayon. Tama-tama naman ang ating panauhin. Special guest natin ngayon ay walang iba kundi isang talagang doktor, practicing physician. At siguro ipari mo nang ipakilala ang ating panauhin, Jamie.
All right, Ka-Anton. Now, to introduce our guest speaker, he is a recognized harm reduction expert in the Philippines, serving as a resource speaker in local and international harm reduction forums and in the Philippine Senate and House of Representatives. He significantly contributed to the crafting of a national bill that, if passed into law, will be known as Non-Combustible Nicotine Delivery System Regulation Act of 2020. An occupational medical specialist for 3.5 decades with many years working in both hospital and industrial setting. His commitment to harm reduction has always been integral in his practice. Now a concierge medical practitioner, providing personalized home care in his city with a population of 90,000, including nearly 1,000 cases of COVID-19 seen and treated. Please welcome the president of Quit for Good, Dr. Lorenzo Mata.
Hi.
Hello, Doc. Hi po.
Hi.
Hi. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Canton. Thank you for the very generous introduction. Mukhang ano na ako Mukhang elevated na ako kaagad. Anyway, a very pleasant good morning to you, Canton and Jamie. and to all your viewers, our viewers. Okay. First and foremost, allow me to thank you for inviting me in your show. I feel privileged and honored to contribute in whatever way I can in this information drive on the viable alternatives to smoking. I wish many more of this sort that you do will mushroom in the future para dumami ng dumami at maintindihan lalo ng ating mga kababayan ang mga tama, that the real science and narratives about these alternatives. Okay.
Opo,
Well, of
kasi
course,
yes,
go,
go ahead.
Canton.
Go
Well, of
ahead,
course,
Jenny.
Doc, we would like to thank you for giving us time. Because we know that you've been very busy treating COVID patients, and also we would
Yes.
like to thank you as well for your service.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
I'm really privileged to. Yeah. Thank you.
and gaya nga ng sinabi mo, Doktor, yung rightful information, yung tamang impormasyon, siguro hindi na kailangan nating i-elaborate pa na meron din pong mga misinformation pagdating
Right.
ho sa science ng nicotine use. Now, I will pitch in the first question to Dr. Mata. No? But before
Uh,
I do that, nais ko ipaliwanag sa ating mga audience na ang ating delivery or ginagamitin nating lingwahe ay Taglish. I'll be speaking more in Tagalog, and ang ating partner ay sa English para magkaroon nga ng fusion. And ang
Right.
ating panauhin ay
okay.
maaari din pong sumagot sa
Nice.
Tagalog or sa full English. Although yung ating prepare na question ay nasa full English at yan ay ating ipa-flash para sa lubos na maunawaan ng ating mga manunood. So ang tanong ko lang po, Doktor, unang-una, ano po ang gawain ng inyo pong organisasyon na itinatag para maituwid ang mga impormasyon na tinatawag po ninyong Quit for Good and what it does?
Pwede ka, Anton, bago ko sagutin yan, I would just like to make two disclosures muna, ha? Okay?
Sige po, sige po.
I will probably be mentioning products related to smoking alternatives. So I would like to express that I have no financial interest with any of such products. Okay? That I'm not in any way connected or a representative of the companies that manufacture them. So I just want to make that clear. So, okay. So going to your question again, can you tell us about Quit for Good? Yeah, of course. I'll be happy to tell you about our organization. It is an advocacy group. It's composed of concerned citizens who recognize the profound damage and loss combustible tobacco has brought to society. We in Quit for Good advocate real, practical, and tangible solutions that seek to eliminate itong pinakauna na nagkukos ng pagkamatay at pagsakit ng mga tao, the combustible tobacco. Quit for Good is a non-stock, non-profit organization or a corporation that advocates smoking cessation through consumer education or on alternatives to smoking and fair regulation. And it strives to build a coalition among stakeholders in the industry and a neutral space in pursuit of the same. So, yung aming organisasyon ay malaki ang kanyang naitulong sa pag-craft ng isang ang isang vaping regulation. Alam nyo, originally this vaping is about to be banned by the president in the Philippines, right? So, but then with the help of many of our friends and of course us at the forefront in defending vaping and actively advocating its regulation, we ultimately have them regulated, and it's now being finalized in the both houses of the Congress. Okay, so that's the Quit for Good. May nagsabi sa akin noon, quit for food. Oh, no, it's for food. Okay. It's quit for food.
Well, doc, not all doctors are supporting this kind of advocacy. Kasi in fact, you're one of the very few doctors who does. So I'd like to know, why are you a believer in the concept of tobacco harm reduction?
Oh, yeah. If you may allow, I'd rather rephrase the question this way. Okay. Why did you embrace harm reduction principle in your healthcare practice or setting? And since then, why have I become a foremost advocate of it? Okay, actually for me, it's a no-brainer. Okay? The whole idea of harm reduction just sort of comes naturally in the practice of medicine. In a broader sense, it is actually applicable in almost all kinds of diseases. Harm reduction should be applicable in almost all kinds of diseases, in all forms of modalities of treatment for these diseases. Paano hindi ganon? Because this is not a perfect world where we have solutions for everything, right? Or treatment or complete cure for all diseases. That's the sad reality. This is not the ideal world as we would like it to be. Okay? But we have a choice to make things better, and that choice has always been there. Harm reduction has always been there for the taking. Okay? Harm reductions are interventions. Yung intervention or conceptual approaches aim at reducing the negative effects. How do you call that in Tagalog? Reducing the negative effects of health behavior or diseases without necessarily removing or extinguishing the problematic health behavior or disease completely or permanently. So, in this imperfect world, I'm constrained to sentimentalize na yung mga nagsasabi na sige na kung ayaw mong hinto di mamatay ka, yung mga gano'n, no? They are absolutists and prohibitionists, have no place in our society. Human beings need humane treatment, compassion, and understanding, not stigmatizing or ostracizing them for behaviors or diseases they may not be able to control or get out from, or for which it may not be our liking. Kahit ayaw natin eh. Kaya bahala kayo sa buhay nyo, parang gano'n. No? Harm reduction strategy, applying its principles, which is meeting people where they are, okay, is an approach necessary to deal with these realities. So as a doctor, as a compassionate individual to my patients, I just have to embrace this concept, adhere to its principles, and apply the necessary strategies to implement it. It's something like I can no longer live without Canton. Parang kailangan ko na yung harm reduction sa buhay ko araw-araw.
Okay. Mamaya ikikwento ko rin yung bagay, yung aking karanasan mismo. No? So, paano po naging relevant itong harm reduction, hindi lamang po sa aming mga maninigarilyo, kundi dun sa aming pamilya, at ito ba ay dapat na i-promote talaga, particular dun sa mga kabilang sa pamilya na naninigarilyo at pumihit na, mag-switch na sa total at sa tobacco harm reduction methods na ating pinalalaganap?
Harm reduction, ang relevance niya cannot be gainsaid, no? Hindi natin ma-underestimate yung talagang relevance dito because you can just imagine how many smokers are there in the world right now. Okay? According to statistics, we have 1.2 billion smokers in the world right now. And we are looking at about 8 million deaths per year due to smoking-related diseases. Walang sinabi ang COVID dito ka Anton at saka Jamie. No? 8 million. Yung COVID, ilang milyon na namatay, 2 years na. Of course, we are not underestimating it or we're not trying to. Pero you look at the realities. Top 10 na diseases na in the world are caused by smoking-related conditions. So, how relevant can this be? Di ba? Why can we not just reduce the risk if we cannot take them out of smoking? So we can once and for all eliminate these dire consequences of smoking. I don't see any small, even irrelevance of what we are trying to bring to the fore to the people to understand na the importance of these alternatives that we are presenting. See? That's exactly the reason why it should be relevant, no?
Well, right. Well, before we go to our next question, Anton, can you tell us what is the quit or die approach? Kasi na-mention na siya ni Doc kanina. And because I believe World Health Organization is currently doing that, and I don't think it's really effective na strategy.
Ilang beses na ako sumubok huminto, no? Nasa edad 20, nagsimula ako 17. Edad 20 pa lang gusto ko nang huminto, hindi ko magawa. Edad 30, every decade, talagang nagkakaroon ako ng attempt na huminto. Very recently, doon sa congressional hearing na inattend ko, person to person, face to face pa yun noon, yung isa sa mga anti-smoking advocate sabi sa akin, huminto ka na. Or kung hindi ka hihinto, mamamatay ka. Isa isip ko, mamamatay rin naman siya kahit hindi siya Pero gano'n yung ang approach talaga nila, talagang construed na doon sa direksyon na yan, quit or die.
Quit or die. Yeah. That's so sad. That's so sad. Actually.
Pero napakahirap gawin.
Yeah, I know.
Napakahirap talaga.
Kaya mga approach na yan, Canton, I call it inhuman or
Inhuman.
uncompassionate
Talaga.
or unconscionable.
Totoo.
What if the smoker is your family member? Okay? Your friend or your relative, you just tell them, okay, go on smoking. It's either you quit or you die from it. No? If there's a way to bring that person close to you, to a more less alternative, why not? Diba?
And then Jamie, kailangan talaga ng sheer, very strong, impeccable determination from that person para niya mapagwalian yun.
Dapat strong mindset po talaga, no?
Pero napakahirap.
Right.
Okay.
But are there better options, Doc, to the quit or die approach? Are there studies to back them up?
There's a preponderance of scientific evidence to support all of these claims that it is less or better alternative. Actually, one solution nga, the better choice is, of course, now is being presented. It's the electronic vaping products, or what was originally known as the e-cigarette. We call now vaping. Okay, so did you know that the anti-vaping advocates are now claiming that it is actually the tobacco industry who started this movement, this product? No, it's not. It was a user-initiated, consumer-driven product. Ibig sabihin, yung mismong gumagamit ng sigarilyo ang nag-initiate nitong product na ito. You remember Honlink, di ba? The Chinese who invented the e-cigarette. He did it so because his father died from lung cancer, and he is also a heavy smoker. So he did that. That was, I can't remember exactly the year, but that's when this e-cigarette started. So it's a misnomer if they say that it was the tobacco industry who wanted who made this, so they could save their business. No, it's not. It's actually, it originated from the users because they can no longer depend on the government or the health, the public health support on them on how to quit from this deadly product. Wala 4% success rate is no good. For a long time it's been like that. So these are the better choices. We have electronic vapor products. We have heated tobacco products. They're all less harmful alternatives for smoking.
Pero yun na nga, doktor, no? Yung mga anti-tobacco noon, yung anti-smoking, pumihit na rin sila, but they are being represented by the same personalities.
Exactly. they're being represented.
Smoking. Ngayon, no, vaping na sila, yun ang kinakanta nila.
Right.
Hindi nila naintindihan na napakahalaga ng flavor. So, paano po ito na natin maipapahayag na ang mga flavors na nakalakip mo sa mga vape juices na tulad nito ay napakahalaga po, doktor?
Oh, flavors? That's one thing again they're trying to attack, because that's the life of e-cigarettes and heated tobacco products. Without it, they know that it will go down. It's not gonna work, and they want to keep the tobacco and the mint flavor lang. Those two, yung dalawang flavor lang ang gusto nilang iwan. You can just imagine, combustible tobacco has already those hello.
Yes, we're here.
Combustible tobacco has already those flavors. Tapos yun pa rin ang gagamitin mo lang sa e-cigarette. You're not giving them an option. We're giving them fruit flavors. Why? Ito na naman ang nakakatawa dyan, Canton. Sabi nila, nakaka-entice daw sa mga bata yung fruit flavors. The psychology of this reverse. If you are young, if you're young of age, gusto mo maging mature ka ang itsura mo, di ba? O feel mo. So you look for the mature flavors. You look for the tobacco and the meat flavor. Okay? Kung ikaw matanda ka, syempre gusto nating magpamukhang bata ng kaunti, di ba? We want to look young and feel young, di ba? So we look for the fruity flavors. That's why these fruity flavors are the ones enticing the adult smokers. Mali, no? Mali. They're coming up. Psychology, it's psychologist actually, yung psychologist na nagsabi niyan eh. Na you don't expect the young to still get the the candy flavors or everything. No, they want to look mature. Di ba? Kaya adolescent yan eh. So if you give them the mature flavor, they will be more enticed to get it. So anyway, that's really debatable in so many fronts, and they will always claim otherwise. Tayo naman, we just tell them up front yung tama, the science, the evidence and everything. That's all we have to present. Yeah.
Well, aside from our advocacy, Doc, we also don't tolerate misinformation. Now, we want to know from an expert like you, can you share with us some myths about nicotine and vaping?
Oh, napakaraming myths yan. Unang myths lang natin yung sinasabi nila nakakamatay yung vaping, di ba? You remember what happened in the US before? So many who died in the US, and they call it EVALI, e-vapor associated lung illnesses, di ba? You know, it's not true. They're not telling the truth about it. It's not the normal regular vape that's causing them to have this illness. It was the illegal use of cannabis and vitamin E acetate that's causing all these illnesses. Walang involvement yung vape natin, yung normal content of our vape. Okay? So, the misinformation na yan, di lang mga fake news na nga yan, at saka misinformation na kinakalat na it's caused. Now, another myth, of course, is that nicotine is the main problem. Okay? Noon, hindi naman nila dinidemonize ang nicotine. Nagkaroon na ng e-cigarette. Dinidemonize na nila yung nicotine. Okay, for everyone's information, nicotine has been studied for decades. Okay? It has been established as more than just a stimulant or chemical containing nitrogen. Yan nga, brain enhancer nga yan. It enhances memory and is called neurotropic at times by the scientific community. It's only now that it's been demonized because it is inextricably linked to tobacco. Okay? What people are being told is nicotine is bad, when what they really mean is smoking tobacco is harmful. So there's a difference, because the harm of the tobacco, smoking tobacco, is not the nicotine, it's the smoke. It's the smoke that causes all the harm. Nicotine has not been found by any studies. Okay? Present me any studies that tells us that nicotine has caused cancer or heart attack. None whatsoever. So
itong mga with the introduction of alternatives na ating ang kinikilala being mga harm reduction methods or tobacco harm reduction devices, masasabi niyo po ba, Doktor, na ito ay magandang solusyon para doon sa mga quit or die approaches na nalalaman nila na yun lamang, wala nang iba?
You mean the better options?
Yes.
Yes. Better. Much better talaga. Because now people have the alternative to go for the less harmful alternative. Biro mo kung wala to, they stick to quit or die. Quit or die ka na, 4%. O kaya bibigyan NRTs. Okay, let's talk about NRTs. Nicotine replacement therapy.
Yes.
Are they buying it? No, they are not.
Yes.
Why? Because smoking is not only the smoking of tobacco. It's also the behavior that goes with it.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
Now, if you just put a patch there and you still look for something that you do when you read newspaper in the morning, di ba?
Coffee.
when you, after coming from bed with your wife, Canton, di ba? Di ba? Then you light a little cigarette. You still look for that eh. And without those behavioral, physical, and psychological thing that you experience in smoking, wala, patsi-patsi lang yun. Anong gagawin ng patch dun sa akin, no? That's only part of it. That's only part of it.
So, dagdag ko nga, Doktor, no, nung sinasabi ninyo kanina, ng very recent lang nila dinimonize yung nicotine. Pero yung NRT, nicotine replacement therapy, matagal na ho yan eh. Mga dekada 70, dekada 80, wala naman tayong naririnig.
Totoo yan, totoo yan. Thank you for bringing that up. You can just imagine, sabihin nila, delikado ang nicotine. Why are they putting nicotine replacement therapies over the counter? Anyone can just get it, patch it up on their arm. Di ba? Di magpakasaya na kayo, magdurog na kayo ng nicotine kung yun ang gusto nyo. Hindi. Di ba? They're not, it's not even prohibited to buy over the counter. Yan eh. So, if they think that it's so dangerous, why are they offering it over the counter?
Right.
And that's how simple it is, no? Just to explain it that way.
Tama. Okay, so tayo ay medyo kinakapusan ng oras. Jamie, baka meron kang huling katanungan o nais na itanong pa, pahabol para kay Dr.
Yes po.
At ako naman ay magbibigay rin ng isa pang katanungan.
Okay, last question from me, Doc. What's next for Quit for Good?
Yeah. Actually, Quit for Good is just a board-winning organization. Nagsisimula pa lang yan eh. So we still have a lot to do and to accomplish. But for now, we believe we have accomplished so much already for the regulation. So the next steps that we will continue capacity building. Okay, for our advocacy group, we will entice new members, which are actually steadily on the rise. We will also initiate local research and surveys on smoking. Alam mo, kulang na kulang tayo sa research locally. You only depend on researches internationally. Okay, so we cannot be so precise in our approach here, or even in our contention here, if we don't have our local surveys done here. And I think that is gonna be a very important undertaking that Quit for Good is going to do in the future. And of course, we'll continue our education for smokers on all available options for quitting, like what you're doing now, Canton and Jamie. No, we do our regular live stream podcasting and media forum engagements. We will likewise monitor and advocate passing of the national bill on electronic vaping products into law. And in line with this, we urge the government to consider the best possible differentiated legal framework through careful review of the science and evidence presented on the matter. And they have to defend the right of consumers to make better choices for themselves. Okay? Meron tayong karapatan na mamili ng ating choice, okay? Ng ating gusto. Okay.
Tama po yan. And sususugan ko nga po yung inyong nasabi, Doktor, na yung Quit for Good is something really very good para dun sa aming tulad ng mga smoker. And just recently, may nakausap ako, no? Na isa po siyang heavy smoker tulad ko. And then siya na unang mag-vape eh. Sabi niya, bumili ka ng vape, ganun, ano? Eh, nung huli ko siya makausap some 3 weeks ago, totally, hindi na siya naninigarilyo at nakatulong sa kanya ang paggamit ng vape. So, birang huling katanungan, Doktor, bukod po dun sa ating sinasagawang mga information dissemination at yung ating paghahatid ng tamang impormasyon, ano pa po ba ang dapat natin gawin? At nang sa ganun, maipasa na itong ating pinakakabangan sa Senado, Senate Bill 2239 na ini-interpellate pa ho. Nakakatawa nga kamo dahil nga kailangan ho talaga natin ng local-based studies. Sinasabi ng isang tagapagtanggol natin, ganito, ayon sa Public Health England. Sasabihin naman ng katunggali, ayon sa Public Health England. Very confusing ho yung mga studies na yan, bagamat yung iba naman, hindi naman ho may tuturing na talagang formal studies kasi hindi pa ho na peer-reviewed. So itong mga ganito, yung palitan ho ng debate, argumento, Ano po sa tingin ninyo ang talaga pong masasabi nating equalizer at nang magkaroon na talaga ng tamang direksyon kung saan tayo dapat tumungo as the use of vape as a public health strategy, Doktor?
Alam mo, Canton, alam mo, hindi natin mapipigil yan eh. No? Kaya nga, yung sasabihin ng isa, dito meron palaging sinasabi yun sa kabila. No? There's always, it's gonna be a vicious cycle. Never ending yan eh. Walang mangyayari yan. There's just one thing that I think everyone should know, really. This is not, this 8 million deaths every year due to is combustible tobacco is no joke. Okay, it's one serious thought that not only that everybody should know, especially the legislators who are trying to come up with the laws, the regulatory framework for these alternatives that we are endorsing and offering to our smokers. Wala na eh. How can we hope to lessen the death tolls every year if 4% lang ang quit rate? Iisipin na lang, sana nag-iisip lahat ng pati yung ating mga legislators. 4% lang ang rate. When will we hope to eliminate this 1.2 billion smokers from their deadly vice, deadly habit of smoking? We'll never come to terms with reality na ma-eliminate natin yan. So, if only, imagine, Kanto, if only 10% will switch, 10% of these smokers will switch every year to the less harmful alternative, in 10 years, we will see the demise, the death of this deadliest product in the market. Deadliest product ito eh. It's causing death more than anything else in the world. Number one cause of preventable death and diseases in the world. Hindi ba tatayo man lang ng balahibo tong mga tao na nag-iisip na sige, tuloy lang natin yung ginagawa natin, no? Wag natin tanggapin 'yan kahit na initiated pa ng mga users o consumers 'yan. They should think. They should look at science, they should look at evidence. Okay? That's the only thing we can do, and for us, what we are doing is the right thing. Information dissemination, continuous education regarding these narratives about alternatives. Kasi unless may magkakaroon ng ganitong forum o platform, the social media platform, we will be swallowed by the giants in the industry because they will try to suppress everything just for them to continue their their malevolent businesses. Okay, so that's just that's true.
I could not agree better.
We have to just continue with what you're doing. Do it more frequently. We need more of this forum. Sabi ko nga, sana mag-mushroom itong mga ganitong social media platforms discussing about this.
At nawa ito na maging simula, Doktor, sa inyo pong partisipasyon ngayon at kami po ni Jamie at 10 na aming kasamahan at ng ating mga iba pong advocacy groups na kasama natin dito sa ating pinaglalaban ay lugod na gagalak sa inyo pong pag-google ng inyong panahon para kami ay mahatiran ng mga relevant information na kailangan po naming malaman. So para po sa mga karagdagang kaalaman, saan po ba namin kayo mapupuntahan sa Facebook? At nang sa ganun ay mailagay namin yung aming like at mamonitor namin ang inyong po mga gawain.
I have a Facebook page, Dr. Lorenzo Alvarez Mata. And I have my Facebook also, personal Facebook account, which is Doc Lawrence Mata. So I most of the time discuss about these things every now and then. Pwede silang, it's very easy. Kailangan lang DOC LORENZ yung Doc Lawrence. Baka kasi yung iba Lawrence of Arabia. It's not. Just remove the O. Lorenzo kasi yung pangalan ko eh.
May nakita ko ako, Doktor, itong Quit for Good na Facebook page.
Yeah, that's good. Quit for Good is that is the one for us, for the group actually. Okay? So Quit for Good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Discuss
also has
everything about
the
it.
page and the group, no, Doc? Like, meron
Yes, that's
tayong
true.
Facebook page and Facebook group na
Mm.
pwedeng salihan ng mga tao or
Yes,
viewers
they can
natin.
join us. They can join us. You can join us one of the uh, become members of our Quit for Good. And if we become bigger and bigger every year, for example, we will have a voice to contend with in any forum. Kasi uh, if we don't have so much support from we just have to have the 17 million smokers in the Philippines to support us. Yeah,
Right.
17 million. Okay?
That's a lot.
The voting population of 17 million, mananalo na tayo sa botohan. No?
Yeah.
Sana nga, magkaroon tayo ng party list, Doktor. Ha? At
Oo nga. Malay
malay
mo, si Ka Anton na ang ilalagay natin.
tayo rin. Yan, tayo. So with that,
Yeah.
Dr. Lawrence Mata, maraming salamat po.
Thank you,
Yes,
Anton.
thank you
It's
so
a
much,
pleasure,
Doc,
Jamie.
for your time. We truly appreciate it. I've learned a lot from you, and I know that the viewers as well have learned many things about tobacco harm reduction. It means a lot for us hearing all this from an expert like you. So thank you, Doc. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jamie. And
Hanggang sa
Anton,
muli. Okay,
have a good day.
Ayan, Jamie, naku po, napaka yaman ng impormasyon na natin
Yes!
binahagi sa atin ng
Parang-
ating panauhin.
Anton, parang ang sarap niyang i-cut, then let's repost it because people really need to know all of the information na sinabi ni Doc ngayon.
Sige,
Yeah.
maganda idea yan.
Yeah.
I-cut natin gano'n.
Yes.
Tapos, gawin
Let's
natin
post it
viral.
as a video. Correct. Correct.
Tama rin naman kasi may mga, yung ating mga questions, ipinost natin something like this, ganyan. Although na yung iba nalaktawan.
Yeah.
Pero okay lang yan. Okay lang yan. At ang importante, naging spontaneous yung ating paghahayag at paglalahad at napaka-smooth ng delivery ni Dr. Lawrence Mata. Sana dumami pa ang mga doktor na tulad niya na magtatanggol sa ating mga isinusulong. Kasi alam mo, yung quit or die, pag yung ang approach na yon, tumigil ka nga ng paninigarilyo, yung iba namamatay dahil sa pagtigil. Maniwala ka.
Talaga po.
May ganun, no?
Paano siya ka, Anton?
Nananaba. Tapos nagkakaroon ng stress.
Right.
Dahil yung adjustment niya, hindi bigla abrupt, lalo ng abrupt, yung cold turkey.
Biglaan din, opo.
Ako, delikado yan. Yung ibang doktor nga, hindi nga nagre-recommenda ng cold turkey. Sabi, yung kumbaga tapering. Wala rin mangyayari doon dahil kapag na-stress yung tao, nagkaroon ng problema.
Tsaka what I don't understand ka, Anton, is marami na po talagang nag-try naman mag-quit pero hindi talaga nila kaya. But still, ayun yung ginagamit or pinupush nilang strategy for the smokers to quit. Diba? Parang hindi naman siya effective pero yun yung pinupush nilang strategy.
Railroaded.
Right.
Anyway, siguro sa tulong ng ating team, makakaroon pa tayo ng mga iba pang mga panauhin at mahingian natin
looking forward to
ilang
that.
panahon hinggil sa issue na ito. So Jamie, tayo naman ay magsasarado na.
Yes. Okay.
Maraming salamat.
There you have it. Thank you so much, Ka Anton. Doc, maraming salamat po sa pag-guest. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Switch Tayo. By the way, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and share this video to your friends and family. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Ka Anton. This has been Jamie. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the first episode of Switch Tayo. It is a live stream show about vaping, heated tobacco, and tobacco harm reduction. Our hosts, Ka-Anton Israel of NCUP and millennial advocate Jamie Franco, will lead the interesting discussion about topics that affect millions of Filipinos. The show promises to be a lively exchange of ideas by our dynamic duo who represent different generations.